Thank you for being part of the Awakening the Dragons ceremony today. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ted Crouch. I'm the coordinator of the original wooden dragon boat restoration project, and I'll be your host for today's ceremony. The dotting of the I, or Awakening the Dragons, will be taking place in front of this room up here. And we encourage you, if you haven't already, to take some time and read some of the signage we've got, which tells a little about this amazing story. And please take a look at the rest of the display along the back of the wall, and feel welcome to do so at your leisure today. And we're trying to be open here Monday to Friday whenever we have people working away in the den. The restoration team also is on hand, and you can recognize them with their brightly colored red t-shirts, and this team continues to grow and grow. It's more than just restoration of wooden boats. To begin, I would like to ask Councillor Louis Thomas of the Shuswap Nation to say a few words and welcome us to the traditional territory. Louis?
White, up. Yeah, chào Louis Thomas. Asuis yami ax yami ana kalmuk. You come in at yan Tamil. Yam kaka yam is kitakaus yam, which is boat in our language. Yam is you come in at the white yana Tamil. Yana white up and away. A kalmo white yam is you come in at yana Tamil. The salka, a swell white up. What I'm really saying is welcome, and I think it's our responsibility. When our people came to this land, they looked after the land, and now they left that responsibility to us, and I think it's all ours now to look after the land, and I'd like to again welcome you all here today, and thank you.
I don't think it would surprise you to know that the original wooden dragon boat restoration project has generated a lot of interest and enthusiasm in our community, and during its short life is resonating provincially and gaining national attention and support. Achieving this has been possible thanks to a strong and growing base of generous community support and other not-for-profit organizations, as well as the provincial and federal government and local businesses and individuals in Salmon Arm and the Shuswap region and beyond. You're all part of this tremendous group, and the project of this significance does not succeed without this broad community support and participation. Today we're honored to have our Shuswap member of the Legislative Assembly, Greg Kylo, here, and I'd like to ask Greg if you'd share some of your words about this project.
Well, thank you very much, Ted. It's great to be here. Thank you again for including me in today's ceremony. The work that you guys have been undertaking is so important, both for retaining some of the heritage, which comes back from the original Expo 86 project, but also the amount of training and work and mentorship that's being able to provided to the different students that are actually participating in the restoration of these fine boats. So it's great to be here. I have a bit of a boating history myself. I'm actually involved with Twin Anchors Houseboat Vacations in Sicamous. I know that Sicamous Mayor and Council are quite interested in actually looking at acquiring one of these vessels in order to provide that opportunity to share with residents of Sicamous and for visitors from abroad some of the great work that you guys are doing, Ted.
The first person that we spoke to about this project over 2 years ago was Mayor Nancy Cooper. There you are. We know Nancy is one of a handful of people from the Shuswap who has actually had the opportunity to paddle in one of the Taiwanese dragon boats that will be awakened during the ceremony today. We're also very honored to have Nancy here to participate in this ceremony. At this time, I'd like to ask Mayor Cooper to share some of her thoughts about this project.
Oh yeah, to bring this down. Anyway, I want to thank you for inviting me today, and it's always really special when we have Louis Thomas here to open this and remind us that this is a traditional territory and all the beautiful nature that we have around here that they enjoyed for many, many years before we ever arrived. So thank you, Louis, and thank you too, Greg. I really appreciate it when you're here, and I'm thankful to be here today because, you know, when I paddle these boats, if you look at the gunnel, it's like that high, and your hip goes right up against that, and you're paddling. It was a little, and the water's coming way up there. It was a little intimidating if you look at the gunnel on these boats or some of the dragon boats that we paddle today. So, but I have to say, never did I think when I was paddling one of these boats at Falls Creek in Vancouver that I would be opening it again here. This is absolutely amazing, and it's very exciting, and I know the Wooden Dragon Boat Festival is coming up, and I can't wait to paddle one of these again. So I really appreciate all the work that you've done, all the funding, and all of you that have been here working on it. What an amazing opportunity that you have to learn so many things and to work on such an amazing project. So looking forward to, was it July 9th?
15 and 16.
15 and 16. Okay, I'm going to be here for that. It's great. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate what you've been doing.
We have other community leaders here this afternoon who will be participating in the awakening ceremony. Just before we do that, I want to ask Brent Moffat, the supervisor on behalf of Aspiral Youth Partners Association, who has been taking care of this project the last few months, restoring the boats, for him to say a few words and introduce the original Wooden Dragon Boat restoration team. Brent?
Thanks, Ted. You'll notice that you have a script, and I was just told like 5 minutes ago that I have to say something. So I don't remember all of the original Dragon Boat people. I know my fabulous crew in the corner over there. Harold, put your hand up, Harold. Shelby, Ernst, we also have one other who's not here, Dwayne, and these guys are doing an amazing job. They show up every single day, they're happy to be there. Some of the work is tedious because all of these boats get scraped right down to raw wood, every single one of them, so that takes about a week of just scraping and paint stripping and sanding, and then they have to prime them and fiberglass them, so it's not sort of sexy work all the time, it's quite tedious work, but they come in every day happy to do it. The other thing that I would really like to say is that Ted has mentioned it, that this is a community project, and being part of this project, I would go to different businesses, whether it's NBR or it's ASA, it's a new metal company up in the industrial park, and if I ask them for help, they're there. They say, what do you need? Brent, what can I do for you? So it's a real community project, and I'm hoping at some point that we will really be able to highlight all of the individual community companies because they've just stepped up for it for all of us. So thank you.
So the restoration team is one part of the project. Another side of it deals with media, marketing, community engagement. And we have two people that have been working full-time on that part. Stephanie Sweet is here, and Chad Foreman. Chad was part of one of the other teams, so he actually did get to do some restoration work. But then when the contract started for this agreement, he moved into the community side, learning more about how to take this story beyond the den, beyond the industrial park, beyond Salmon Arm, and start sharing it with communities throughout British Columbia and across Canada. So since the beginning of March 2017, the team has completed these two very colorful dragon boats that are made of camphor wood. The other 6 dragon boats that are in this den are made of old-growth teak. And they were restored on this previous job creation partnership project that ran for 1 year and ended in January of 2017. This current contract to finish the rest of the Taiwanese boats runs for 4.5 more months, at which point the entire fleet, which includes 3 more of the teak boats and 4 of these Taiwanese boats, will be all restored. So the participants acquire work experience in woodworking, restoration, varnishing, painting, power tool operation, including work on the hull beautifully painted underneath these boats. The dragon head, as Brent just talked about, painting, it's all hand painted, everything on these boats, which is quite remarkable. The drum, the tail, the seats, the paddles, and a steering oar. The team, with Stephanie and Chad, have also been acquiring work experience in personal management, event planning, teamwork, and community engagement activities, including presentations such as today, stakeholder relationships, media, and marketing. Now, these two members have also been learning how to edit video with Fred Bird, who's shooting video today. And to date, since the beginning of March, they've produced 5 short videos and will be working on a full-length documentary before the end of the project. An ancient Chinese ritual called Awakening the Dragon is performed where the eyes of the dragon are literally dotted as a symbol to awaken the spirit of the dragon. For today's ceremony, we have a very, very special guest to explain this ritual so we all can have a greater appreciation of what this means in the Chinese culture. I would like to ask Tian Yu to share some of his knowledge and understanding of the Awakening the Dragon ceremony.
Why we want to awake this dragon to point the pupil? Because, I'll show you something. I have a tattoo here. You see that's a dragon head. You see the eyes closed. Because the Chinese believe that we don't like things be perfect. Because if you are perfect, you cannot, go further. Like you climbing a mountain. If you're on the top of the mountain, the only way is get down, right? Or stand there. So only in this very big ceremony or very big event, so some guy, some tough guy will awaken the dragon, make it perfect, which means the ceremony or some big event will be perfect. That's why we come here to awaken this dragon, so which means this season of a dragon boat will be perfect. So that's what I'm going to share with you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
As we learn more about the reason behind Awakening the Dragon, we've had 4 or 5 of these ceremonies over the last 2 years. We continue to learn from Tian Yu and other folks of the Chinese culture who become part of this project. They reach out and tell us stories. We are trying to respect the culture, respect the craftsmanship that went into creating these boats, and continue through the restoration of presenting them back for the public at large to be able to share in the story, for the students at the high school to have an opportunity to learn more about the dragons and paint their heads and their tails. I think Brent's trying to make an arrangement somehow that a whole boat can go to the school and paint the whole boat, which would be just awesome for the youth of the community to be involved as well. At this point, it concludes the stories that are being shared by our guests, but we do have the actual ceremony to take place. It's going to be at the front of the dragon heads, these 2 Taiwanese boats, and I think I'll ask Tian Yu if he would first take a brush and just give an illustration to how the eye is dotted, just how much paint our guests are going to put on. We'll have MLA Greg Kylo have one of the eyes on the head. You can share this again with Mayor Cooper, one of the boats. And we'll have Dwayne Manuel from the Nisconlith Band of the Shuswap Nation, and Don Podlovny, who's a director with the Shuswap Rowing and Paddling Club, be able to do one of the other heads, each of you getting one of the eyes.